Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with yet another video. And this is part 2 to a 3, maybe a 4-part video on drawing the face for your character. This is the female face. So if you have made it to part 2, which you're seeing me, you made it, make sure you go back to part 1 and see that, because part 3, we're going to be doing something really interesting, and you need to understand the structure of the face to do that, because part 3, we can just jump into it. And if you're missing a lot, then you won't be able to keep up, not properly anyway. So let's get on with this, and I'll tell you at the end of the video exactly what we're going to do in the next part, because a lot of people have been asking for that, and I'm going to give it to you. All right, so let's get on with the video and learn something. All right, welcome back. This is part 2, which it wasn't supposed to be a part 2, but it turned into a part 2. Let me get my glasses. Computer, set alarm for computer. Are you listening? Set alarm for 30 minutes. So hopefully I can get through this. As I said in the first part, I'm doing the faces and the angles of the faces, because I want to take that right into something else that I have been trying to work on, and people have been asking me to do. So you gotta learn the faces first before you can take it and do the next step. So for the female, for the man, I did the 3 faces. I did the 3 little angle faces. And as they go back, and I ran out of space, so I just did this little side view of the faces. And as I said, I ran out of room. So we're going to do the female because I wanted to do both. And the more I talk, the more I'm going to run out of room to run out of space. So let's try to do them smaller. And your ovals don't have to be perfect. Please don't try to make them perfect and sit there all day trying to make them perfect. So for the female face, you have the oval, but what I do, let's cut this in half first of all, and then cut this in half again. So you're going to have the plus symbol in this. So what I do is I make this instead of the egg, so I'll make it basically like this, like that. So I'll bring this in more. We give it more of a pointier chin, whereas the man is more square, like that. So we got the halfway mark right here. So you want to go just above the halfway mark, just a little bit above the halfway mark, because your eyes are going to fit into here. As I said on the first one, I used to do the halfway mark, and I put the eyes right there on the middle. And I would always run out of room down here, because I never knew why until I realized I was using the halfway mark wrong. So that's the bottom of your eye here. Now again, the head should hold 5 eyes. The perfect head should hold 5 eyes, but we're going to do some more heads here, showing you why you don't need to do the perfect head. It should show 5 eyes wide. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and it should be 2 more eyes here. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just draw the size of the eye that I want on my face in the center. Your nose is the size of an eye. So we're gonna go from this line here, not this center line, this line here. From here to here, we're gonna go halfway, which is about, you just kind of like eyeball it right there. I can bring it down a little bit, but it's not trying to be perfect. About right there. So as I said, the nose is the size of an eye, the width of an eye for a standard person. Now from this line to the bottom line, you want to go half there too. So I would say about right here. So those are your guidelines. Those are your measuring lines for doing a face. So let's put my eyes in, and as I say, when I'm doing small, and I will keep referring back to my old paper because it's easier, and I'll give to a new sheet. If I'm doing female eyes, I'm doing eyes. If the character, this is my character, this is the size of my character's head. Here's the neck, here's the body, whatever. So I'm not going to try to do this detailed perfect eye, because it's so small anyway. And then when it goes to print, if I'm drawing, for my comic book, when it goes to print, it's going to shrink down, way down. So I'll do my eyes like this. I'll just do that and just cut it like this. Cut it on the corner and cut it on this corner like that. And then I'll just round it off as I go. So instead of this being flat, I'll just round it off to here. This is then the angle, and then I'll just round that off to there. Oh, you want to do that on me, huh? So hopefully you saw that. I think I saw when it just did what it did. So square eye here. square eye there. Just at this round, angle it, and at that angle it, and that angle it, and then just round it off. Let's see if it won't screw up on me again. So just gonna round off this. It comes down and just round off that. And it's just practice. It's just practice, that's all. Now for the female, for the male, I didn't do that. I tend to have, like, if I do this, this is an eye, this is an eye. Here we go, like this, like this. This straight line like this, I'll have it even. So each point will be on the same line. For the female, I have it different. This point, which is right here, and this point, which is right here, it'll be different. This go straight up. This point is higher than this point. And I'll do that for the female eye. So it's going to be like this. The point is going to be here, come down like that. And then it gives you just that good female eye, because when you put your lashes on it, it gives you that up angle. So remembering the chin has got to be pointy, whereas the man is square. And that's something else I forgot to mention. If you're trying to do this for the male and you're having trouble with the oval, just do this. Just do this little rectangle right here, using all your guidelines that I showed you, and then just wherever the mouth is, you'll know, you'll understand. Then just round it off like that, and at the top, round it off. You'll still have a good male face. Good enough for your drawings, because remember, if this is the size of the face, once I shrink it down in comics, you won't see all that. So I can give the guy, you know, like stubble and so forth. And once you shrink that down so much, then you're gone. All the detail is gone. All right, stop drawing that man's face. Female face. We talked about noses. One thing you don't want to do if with a female is give her a lot of nose. This is why people do the V. Just do the V, but you got to give it a little bit more than that, because the nose is shaped like this. It's kind of like this, like that. It's just kind of like taking the letter U and pulling it apart like that. So you can do your nostrils here, curve back to your nostrils. Let me open them up just a little bit more, and then not way down here, real close to it. Just bring some nostril up like that. Bring it up and in like that. And then usually I'll show just some under, because you always have that shadow where your nose bends. And this is a big bulbous point right here. And then your nostrils connect to that. So doing a quick nose, you just want to do this U right here. Let's open, and then just a little bit of nostril. You can actually break the line. You don't have to have it. You can just do it like that. I mean, you don't have to have it go all the way up, back down. This point here, this point there, this is your nose. And yeah, too many lines on the female. So I'll just do this and break it a little bit. Come up there and maybe, it depends on the drawing, how I'm feeling, how much, because I may do too much on the female nose and make the mistake, like this little underline here. And then show just a little bit to show that that nose has that little ball on it. Then come up. Here's my eye. Let me put my eyes in here. Then the eyes are right outside the nose, like this. And of course, as I say, it's angle. My inking is always different from my penciling. More like that, maybe not up that much, but you get the gist. My nose, so you're gonna have your brow, comes that up and over. And go back and check out the first video, and you'll understand where the lines, where all the lines meet, and they turn and they come in and so forth. But there's more that I want to do to this than just draw the face. So you have underneath, you have that philtrum, which is that little that little water drop. And then unlike the man, I'll do more of a sharper V like this. It's the man, and I don't really connect them. I don't connect all the lines for the man's mouth, whereas the females I will. So you have more of a sharper V. The center of the eye, you drop down line from the center of the eye. That's the width of the mouth. So with that, I'll bring this up and then I'll curve this down. Whereas the man's is more flat. Here, you have a little teeny V like that, and then I'll curve it up. And then for me, I'll just drop the line down like that, and then I'll give her that bottom lip like that. And this is just me. Everybody has a little different type of way they do stuff. So the chin, if you take the nose straight down, this is the roundness of your chin. I give it a little more chin. This, or should I say not the roundness, but the width of the chin before you start to angle the face in. So across the mouth, when you angle the face up, this is where your jawbone, this is where it turns, and it comes up at this angle. So you got the chin, comes up, hits this line, and goes up, bringing the face in. What did I do? Go up, and it comes in, and then at this point, I'm gonna go up, bringing that face up like so. So you don't want to do too much nose line because it kind of kills everything. Let's draw the eye. You don't have to have this way up like that. Let's bring that down a little bit more. If you're doing like an Asian female, then I will have that up high like that. But if you're doing any other type of female, I don't. I have this little extra line right here. This is the fold where the skin folds. And I'll do a bigger thing. And then if it's small like that, I'll just do this extra piece right here for eyelashes. And then blacken that whole thing in. And then down at the bottom, I'll do the same thing, but it won't go as far across. So if I actually did that really big, say like this, this is your piece, the fold of the skin that comes down. Then from here, I will do the eyelashes. It comes like that. I mean, you can do this, but to me, that just doesn't work. Especially if you, as I say, if this is the eye, like that, you're not going to see individual lashes, but you will see the little darker point here and maybe there. So that's basically all you need, unless you're drawing a really close up of an eye. Then you need all that. It's like at the bottom, there is the line here, and then your eyelashes come out from that line. Not like at the top, where it comes from under the eye lid. Like that. But as I say, if you're not doing a big face, don't worry about that. Eye, light source, pupil, or iris, or whatever that little piece is called, and then darken the top. I'll make the top a little thicker. Not all the way to the bottom, just at the top to give it that shadow look there. And then your brow comes up. Keep it thin, thick to thin. And then you can have that where it comes in and around. Not too much. Again, not too much nose. You have your eyelashes. Oh yeah, your lashes, which is just that little piece. And then at the bottom. And I don't take them all the way across at the bottom. I'll just stop like this. I don't have this big thick one unless that's your character. And then this big thick one that goes all the way to the bottom. You can if you choose. It's your character, it's your drawing. But that's just a me thing. And again, light source, because the eye's wet. The eye's always wet. Look in the mirror, you'll see reflection coming from something. Like that. So yeah. And don't forget to make this thick at the top to give you that illusion. So if my eye's here, this is my eye. I'm just doing a really, really big one. This part, make it a little thicker. This part here, thicker as well. If I bring the eye down more. Don't bring it all the way down, just like this and this. Let's say the eye stops here. Then you do your light source, and then you do your pupil. But by doing this thick right here and thick right there, it gives it that shadow look. Because again, as I said in the first video, go back and check that out. From the side, your eye is like this. And then here's your nose over here. So you have your brow here. So this is basically is covering this to keep the light from getting here. So it's going to be darker here. So this is what this is for. And then you have your eye. And then your, whatever these little things are called here. So yeah. And then your lashes would be for the female. And your brow, and then your nose for the female. Like that. I mean, the brow's kind of screwed up, but yeah. Anyway, that's why you have the little dark pieces right here. That's why I put them there anyway. So we have this, and of course, you, like I said, you have your guidelines for your shadows, which you don't put into the female face. Look at the males, or you look at the other video for the male, and then you have your ear is like from the top of your brow to the bottom of your nose. So I'm just doing a quick one so my timer doesn't run out before I get to the main part. And you want to shape the face for the female. And if you're gonna have hair on it, then yeah, don't worry too much about it. Curve and in, and then in, and it's something you have to work on the chins. You don't want too big of a chin, you don't want too small of a chin, but it's just a shape thing. But once you get up here, you want it to be flat and then curve around. Because if you do the side of the face basically is like a P. It's like a P, like this, a balloon P. Letter P. It's like the balloonish type of P. And you notice this is round, and then when it comes to the front, it drops down. So it's not round, it just drops down just like that. And of course the neck, you want a slim neck. It curves around, curves out like that. And then here's the collarbone, that little piece, and you have a little bit of muscle for the woman. You don't have all the way like the man, you have that Adam's apple. So ear. And I just darken that. And I know I'm rushing, but as I say, there's more to this. All this is connected to something else. Go back and check out the first one, and the link will be right here or right there at the end of this. So you can check out the first one and all of the stuff that I showed you that is related to drawing this. And you'll see at the end. So eyebrows. And then keep the face slim. Let's say keep the face slim. I could have slimmed it out a little bit more. You don't want to have anything less. Yeah, let's do the profile because I'll show you what's happening with the mouth. Because of the angle of the mouth, and what I'll do is I'll leave a light source because women put lipstick on and you give it some shine, and I just leave like that little white part like that for the mouth. Profile, your eye, let's just say my eye's here. This one is higher than that one, right there. Then you're gonna have your brow right here, comes out, not too far for the female, goes in, and then you have your nose. From your chin, let's just say this is my chin here. From that nose here, you want to bring that at an angle. Now it's not like a 45-degree angle, but it's a different angle. So that nose should hit this, go in. The mouth slopes out, hits that same line, goes in, and the bottom one comes out, hits that, slopes in. You should know that if you have watched the first one. So like this, and I will square off the female nose more than the male. Like that. Goes in, hits that. that. And that's when I put this little piece there. The bottom mouth lip comes like that. Put that there. And the chin comes down and hits that too, and it rounds it out. Now this is where you got to be careful with the females. You don't want a square chin, you want kind of that little point there. And because you see how this lip overshadows this bottom lip, so you might get some light right here, and this rest of this is like black, especially with the lipstick. So the nose, I'll just put like that number 6. It's like a little number 6, and then just a bit of the nostril. So as I say, it's like a flat number 6 like this. So if you have a number 6 like that, lay that on the side, kind of like that. But you don't want a woman, you don't want to see a lot of nostril on a female. Very little nostril and very little lines. That's why people just use the V a lot of times, and just maybe a little bit on the side, because people don't really look at the nose. It's the eyes that show the expression and the mouth that shows the expression. So we have that, and come up here, as I say, from the brow, the ear, from the brow to the nose. And if you want to do the little cheekbones, usually the villainesses have the cheekbones. The mouth and the eye comes out to wherever the mouth is. The eye comes there. The cheekbone bends there, and which you should see in the first video. And then your lashes there, and then your eye here, and then a little cheekbone here, just a little bit from the eye comes down, because it comes down and around, and the nose fits. I think this goes all the way to the nose like this, and then your eye comes out. But you definitely are not going to put all these extra lines in the female when you're doing your character, unless you just want to. And then the bottom of the skull comes way out and down, kind of below the ear. It can start here, but it curves down like that. 3/4 view, and I'm rushing, and I'm really rushing. So the quality of this is not, quality of the drawing is not the greatest, but it's not my drawing that counts. It's the teaching that counts. So as you have this curve, remember, when this comes around and around about the eye, it goes straight down. So you're gonna have this ball, and what they call it, the loomis little style. You have this, and then you have this straight down. And you can square this off like that. But a lot of times you don't, unless you're just drawing a face. If you're just trying to draw a perfect face, then you'll do this. But if you're drawing comics and you have a character here and you have a character there and you have a character there, you're not going to say, okay, here's my ball and this is this and it goes here. That's time consuming unless you just want to do it. So just remember that this drops down like that. And then it's going to be round. Let me ink this. No, let me get some lines in here first. So here's center line. If you want to do the center line, or if you want to go straight for where the eye is, which usually I'll do center line, and then, as I say, put the eye up here. So you're going to have the nose come down. So you want to find the bridge of the nose, the bridge of the head and the nose, and then you say the nose is going to come here. I just do this and this, and the nostril for the nose. So if I'm doing this, skip all of that, put the nose down here. And then basically that's kind of it. If you want to draw, you know, like the nose does have that little lower piece like here where all the shadow is, you can just draw a little piece of line there. Then from there, you know that this is going to come down into the philtrum, which is going to shape the mouth. Again, the little V here, and it curves. And remember the eye, the mouth stops at where the eye is. So if I had put the eye in here somewhere, I put the eye in here because there's a third eye there. So where the end, I'm sorry, where the center is, that's where your mouth ends. no matter how you turn your face, whether it be up or, to the side, and here's your eye, here's your eye, here's your nose up here, it's still going to be the same. You're still going to have these guidelines. It's just going to curve around. Here's your mouth, you got your chin goes up and it curves right here at this line. So your chin will be like this and up. You still have your ear. It's going to be at these lines. So as long as you have your guidelines, you're going to be able to draw your character, or you'll be able to draw the face right every time. I know that was kind of high, I'm sorry. And then angle. So the mouth, thicker the lips, that's on you. I'll keep the round for the female, whereas for the male, I will kind of like square it off like that. As the female, I'll keep it round. So I'll square it off like this. For the female, I'll keep it round. That's just me. It's a Brian thing. And you should do that too. Like that. You have this that comes in to the top of the eye, or the center of the eye. Then it comes back out and it goes down. And this is the part where you have to worry about making the female look good by this little angle. Bring it out a little bit for the chin. Don't make the chin too big or too round. You'd have to, and I'll do this like 100 times, erasing that chin until I get it right. Let's just say this. I'll bring it in. And the center of the nose is like of your chin, the shape of that chin. So you can curve it like this at that point. And then it comes up. And then your ear, don't forget your ear, top of your brow, bottom of your nose. This is why I don't draw with an ink pen. So my eye, the little fold, the lash, the other lash. She'll be looking back at us today. Like that, lashes. You can give it a little lashes more if you need be. That's your drawing. So speeding this up a little bit more, the eye, this part because you're looking back. If you want to do cheekbones, dark lip, remember this part. And then the head, the more you turn it, the further it goes back. So this is going to be right here on the ear. Remember, this is going to go up straight almost and then back. Now you can slope it depending on, like African Americans, our heads, since I'm into that, slopes back like that. Our forehead will slope back. Some up more straight, slopes back like that. That's just something else you have to kind of like study when you study how people are, or how people are basically built. And after that, you don't want to put in more lines in there, because the more lines you put in, the more older that character is going to start to look. Like with these extra lines here, she's starting to look older and more eviler. If I do too much nose, do some wrinkle or lines, she's starting to age on me. If I do any lines under the eye, it starts to age on you. So just by adding a few extra lines or too many lines, you can have your character become older. And if you want to draw the older character, that's fine. It works. Of course, once you get the wrinkles, you just aged her. The little part here, the crow's feet. If you're drawing grandma, all that, just little things like that. Just a little around the mouth. All that just ages your female. So you don't want to put too many lines, like as less nose as you can. Break this. You don't want it to come all the way down. You can, but it just kind of takes away from the female when you connect that line. And then of course your brow, your eyebrows, like that. And then you have your side of your head. But when you do hair, however you do your hair, you're not going to really be concerned about the skull. So grandma's got some nice fluffy hair because I turned her old. And then of course your neck, like here, and then you want to figure out where you want to put your neck. You don't want to put it out here. You don't want to put it too far out. You don't want to put it too far back. It's just kind of something you have to kind of play with. And then her shoulders, slope it like this. So it's going to come to that point where you're at her collarbone, depending on the angle of the drawing, like that. Shoulder's going to come down. Shoulder's going to be right here, and then the breasts are going to come like that. So, quick female. Now I'll go into what I wanted to say. If I can grab a piece of paper before my alarm goes off. Doing these lines are well and good, establishing where all your lines are, but you have a million faces. You can have computer stop alarm, computer stop alarm, just in time. You can have the oval face, you can have the upside down egg kind of face, you can have the more elongated face, you could have the more square kind of face. So all that is well and good. All of this is well and good, but your characters can be anything with any shape of head, just as long as you know. Well, I'm not even gonna say, because I could have a character like this, depending on what kind of comic book I'm doing or what kind of drawing I'm doing. I could have my character's eyes, way up here. They could be close together. You could have this huge, gargantuan nose, and a little bitty mouth right here. Like that, little ears up here. Especially if you're into cartooning. So don't, little chin, give him a little chin, bring it up. So what I'm trying to say is, don't take this and throw this as this is the rule. It must be like this. It's got to be like this or it's wrong. Because, Bugs Bunny's a rabbit, but he doesn't look like a rabbit. He's walking up on 2 feet. So nobody complains about that, saying, oh, that's not a rabbit. So this could be, ex-sailor or whatever, somebody that work on a loading dock. And then because he's cartoony now, I'll just add a little bit of the things that make somebody looks more realistic. Like I say, the little brow over the eye, little part over the eye, giving the realistic eyes. You think you can make this guy look realistic, Brian? Possibly. With enough time and then doing what I need to do, he can actually be somebody that, realistic in a comic book. And not so much to be a cartoon character. A lot of it is in the eye. A lot of realism is in the. You get those eyes right, and then people will say, "Oh, okay, that I can see him as a dock worker in the on the dock, on the loading docks, on the pier is what I'm trying to say." And the guy could have some kind of realistic hair. He could have a what do you call that when your hair is in the back? So the more you add to it, the more detail you add to it, the more realistic this person can actually become. Well, he won't be so much of a cartoon, which is comic books is basically kind of cartoon. It's more of a realistic cartoon. Especially if you start adding like really detail to whatever clothes or whatever he has. And for the life of me, I don't really know what a little cap looks like right now. So as I was saying, you don't have to stay with that rule of thumb, because if you're doing a comic book, your characters can be out there as much as you want to be, as much as you want them to be, but just, you know, you, watching the first video, you kind of know the basics for drawing your character, or drawing your character. She's almost like him, but she can be just like just a bigger woman. And women, you'll cover all this up with hair anyway. The telltale sign is in the eyes. You can do the cartoony eyes like this. You could just do like in the anime where the eyes are closed, or the little ball here. It depends on your character. As I say, a face could take any shape, any shape. So don't get too stuck with the rules. Give her some earrings, make her more ladylike. A little more nose, add more to that nose to, bring that in, the eyebrows. So as I said, your character can be any shape, any size, any proportion. So don't, you don't have to stick to the rules when you're doing it. Your character might be, Joe Handsome, because you want him to be, good looking, Mr. Rugged, face with the big thick chin and the good jaw lines and, the sparkling eyes. And you might want him to have the beautiful girlfriend in the back of him, with the big cherry ruby red lips and the perfect makeup on every time and a beautiful, Miss Clairol hair, but then your bad guy might just be, some skinny little guy with like a big broken nose, a little mouth, because, big bulgy eyes. Well, he's so evil, so. The little hard cheekbones, the little jutting out chin, and the losing his hair. That's why he's pissed off, because he's losing his hair. So yeah, don't think that you have to, and say, well, my face is not right or my character is not right. Because people have said, can you teach me to do character design? But that's kind of hard to do because I don't know your character. The same way people say, do costume design. I don't know what kind of costume you have. Costume depends on the powers that your character would have. If he's an armored knight, then he's going to have on armor. But I do you a Batman kind of costume, and you say, no, that's not right because he's this. Well, see, I didn't know what he was, so I cannot do your character costume design. I have no idea what your character looks like or what your character's powers are. I could have do some armor, and he's underwater. He's like another Aquaman. So right off the bat, it's not going to be right. So you have to judge what your character, basically the power is. If you had a power, if you could fly, what would you wear? What kind of costume would you realistically wear? What could you go to, the store and buy that would suit your taste? Would you have like a skin tight yoga kind of outfit on? Would you have like a trench coat? Would you make yourself a cape? So you have to be the judge of your own costume and your own character. Is your character fat? Is your character skinny? How old is your character? Where's your character located? Is he born on an island? So you're gonna have to start doing like the island faces of an island. Is he Indian? Is he African? There's a difference between an African face and somebody that's born in the United States. A black man is born in the United States face. big difference between all of that. So those are the things you're gonna have to ask yourself, because there's only so much I could teach you how to draw. Yeah, because every face is basically proportionally the same, but you can shift it up. Bigger nose, more chin, wider face. You still have the ears. Ears are going to be the same. Ears could be small ears. They could be wide, big ears. Big, Jojo the Dumbo ears. Guy, that could piss him off. That's why he's a bad guy or something. Eyes are kind of the same. Depending on your style, you want to just do those eyes like that, or if you want to do these eyes like this, if you want to do more realistic eyes. But the more stuff you put into it, of off kind of shaped face, the more detail you put in it, the more you can get away with it looking real. But I've never opened up a comic book and saw somebody with like 4 arms and say, "Oh, that's not right. I'm not going to buy this book." I'd be like, "Wow, that's kind of interesting." So don't say, I'm scared to, because somebody might not like my character. You don't know, what they like. This is your story, your baby. When you go out and buy a car, you buy the kind of car you like, not something that somebody else is going to say, "Oh, why did you buy a Mustang? You should have bought a Toyota. It runs better, or it does this, or it does that." So, life lesson. A face can be anything you want it to be to fit your character. So, yeah, let's leave this one at that. And I'm going to go on to the next video that is going to be designing creatures. It's going to be humanoid creatures, but you needed to know how the face is actually formed before you can transform this human face into a creature face. So that's why I wanted to do these 2 videos. So stay tuned for that one, and that's going to be a good one. It might be a little longer. I might have to split it in parts, but now that you know what the faces are shaped like, designed like, when they turn and so forth, now you can start working on creatures. For those who are trying to do creatures, it makes it a little easier once you know these 2. So go back and check out the first one, which was this one, and then there's going to be a link after that one to do this one. Or if you're looking at the first one, well, you can't see, this is the second one. They're all going to link. They're going to link. So with that said and done, I'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to do creatures, humanoid creatures.